And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the top left position of Akalon Wastes. The red Terran player from Team Cooler Master Storm, it is Polt. And he is up against this man in the bottom right position. Coming in from Samsung Galaxy Con, it is Solar. So, a Terran versus Zerg. This is quite a match, actually, to kick off the group for today. Polt, arguably one of the strongest Terran players around right now, managed to get to the WCS Top 16 finals at BlizzCon not too long ago, during this very same month. Didn't quite have the results that maybe fans were hopeful for. Didn't get very deep, but still quite a strong opponent, and one of those top tier Terran players you can never really count out. Solar, I haven't seen too much of his play recently. WCS Korea finished up, I think, before pretty much any of the other ones, so it has been a little while since Solar's been out and about in the spotlight, it would seem. Polt opening up with a barracks into a gas. The Reaper play just kind of seems like a very Polt thing to do. It's like Polt has this way of playing Terran versus Zerg where he opens up with the Reaper. He builds just one Reaper, then gets a Reactor, then moves up with a late second Reaper and a Marine, and just goes for a fast Viking to harass while doing the standard Reaper Hellion harass / scouting setup. So that's about what I expect to see out of Polt this game. Now, Solar is going to be the player with options. Solar is going to largely determine the pace of this game with whether or not he wants to be aggressive, if we will see any type of fast... any fast aggressive play, and he certainly has an option to now, opening up with the hatchery first, into the gas, into the spawning pool. So he's going to have access to Zergling speed pretty damn fast, especially considering that it's, he's going to have about 100, maybe 10 seconds after this spawning pool completes. So there's the potential there for some great aggression. And Polt adding on the second supply depot, kind of interesting actually. He's queued up a second Reaper. Has Polt had a change of heart about the way that he wants to play this? He's actually going to go straight for the second Reaper. No Reactor? Okay. This is interesting. And it's just a bit different from the way that Polt's been playing TVZ lately. Or at least from what I've seen of him. And this is, I guess, a welcome mix-up. This is something that a lot more other Terran players like to do as a standard way of playing out the... playing out the Reaper open. Just getting that command center very quickly, and you still have the option to get a very fast third command center, but the Overlord coming in for Solar will have all of the information available to it. Polt runs up with his Reaper. Nothing really to be seen. There are a few Zerglings coming out to give chase, preventing the Reaper from really doing too much. He doesn't want it to get comfortable. Polt, of course, wants to kill as much as possible. Not able to grab even a Zergling yet. So Solar, he's staying alive, doing his best. And that Zergling speed is coming in. It's almost halfway done. So I'm wondering if we're going to see Solar do something like just pump out a ton of speedlings and try to overwhelm Polt. Or if he's just building enough to defend. Polt will manage to grab a drone. Not bad. As a Zerg player, your goal is to just not lose anything to this. I used to say that maybe 2 drones tops you would lose. But it's, Zerg players have gotten so good at defending against this. They ideally don't want to lose anything at all. But Zergling speed's getting close to finishing. Polt's going to retreat. He wants to be a little bit careful, especially considering that the Reapers did scout the gas. So he knows about the fast speed. And you see Polt moving in to get the wall off now. He has the bunker on the way as well as that supply depot. And despite getting this factory, he's actually still going for the very standard setup that he likes to do, which is the starport, then the second gas geyser, allowing for a very quick Viking to clear out any Overlords. We can see the way Solar's already kind of adapted to this. His Overlords going to check some bases. I think this one might even just be heading home, but he hasn't spread out a lot of Overlords. Solar, I guess he doesn't really have too many Overlords. He's keeping them mostly in front of his base. If these guys move too far out, they could be vulnerable to the Vikings, but keeping their creep spread below there will also be very important as far as keeping them safe with the Queens goes. But the third base is on the way for Solar. He's just continuing to drone away for the most part. Hasn't done too much. As I say that, he starts up 10 Zerglings. I think just to deal with the Reaper Hellion if he decides to step too far out onto the field. He still has these 4 Lings pocketed away. Could try to run by, but the 2 Reapers sitting in that bunker will do a pretty good job of deterring any aggression like that. And the Hellions are just getting on the edge of the creep, trying to see if there's any holes open. Stim pack is on the way for Polt. He started that second barracks at a actually pretty good time. Looks like he started about 6:45, so he's got a very nice setup. And Polt sets the Reapers out and immediately walls off. Very nice way that he just kind of has a checklist of things you want to worry about. And that's those little Zergling pokes, little run-bys. Polt comes up with the Hellions, trying to delay the creep spread. Not able to really do much, though. The Viking is out, though, and Polt's hunting for Overlords, looking for anything to kill, and there's nothing in sight. In fact, most of these standard drop areas are wide open at the moment. Double Evolution Chambers starting for Solar. As Polt getting a medevac now. So one of the things that Polt likes to do is just get a Widow Mine with this factory before any add-ons. Throw up a Widow Mine, go for a little bit of a drop play, and as I say that, these Zerglings run in. They're going to see absolutely everything, sees the medevac, so Solar might be anticipating a little bit the potential of a fast drop. Polt's putting out Marauders at the same time. One Marauder out. Defensively, in case there was some sort of attack, Marauders can be pretty damn good versus any type of roach play. About to see lots of Zerglings. A lot of Zerglings coming in. Still no lair. And the Evolution Chambers are upgrading the 1-1 though, so we should see the lair start relatively soon. But Viking might finally be able to catch something. Will kill an Overlord in front. Nope! Actually, nice transfuse from Solar. He's trying to bring the Queens out to get this Viking away, but the Viking will kill the Overlord and then run. Hellions trying to do some kiting versus these Zerglings. He's managed to chew up actually quite a few of the Lings that Solar has here. He's giving chase. The Queens are going to try to catch these Hellions on the swing around, but Polt losing 2 Hellions in the chase. Now still, we have this Viking looking for anything to kill. Wondering where that medevac is. There we go. 2 medevacs loaded up with Marines, a Marauder, and a Widow Mine. This is actually a really nice drop timing. He's going to go straight up to the front and try to hit a 10-minute stim attack on the creep, I think. By keeping the Hellions alive, he has a lot of mobility for taking out the Zerglings, as well as the ability to target down those Banelings if they clump up too much. And Polt is here. Polt is ready. He's moving in. He's got quite a few units getting up. He has a 3rd command center on the way behind this. Can Solar defend with the Banelings? He's morphed in. The Zerglings are trying to get chased. Without that creep, it's very difficult for the Banelings to get on top of them, and that Widow Mine managing to burrow as well. Looks like it's just going to detonate on an Overlord, though. Will be able to pick off one of them. The other one trying to morph into an Overseer, but that will get shut down as well. And Polt is just picking apart this front line. Unfortunately, no scans to clean up what creep tumors are here, but there we go. Now Polt's just going to delay that creep spread. There's still an active tumor on top of the cliff, fortunately for Solar. He's not completely out of luck, but Polt will finally get pushed back, and, well, there's not really too much happening here. The Spire's on the way. The 1-1 is about to complete for Solar, so these Zerglings are going to get a little bit more hardy in the fights, but the medevac's doing a great job of keeping everything alive as Polt just steps back a little bit further. Solar starting the Spire. Baneling speed on the way as well. Just continuing to put out Zerglings, and this is a great amount of pressure that Polt's bringing. This is actually a pretty sweet build coming in from him to just bring this relentless pressure onto the Zerg player. And the creep tumor was placed while Polt was pushed back for just a little bit. The 3rd command center taking a bit of a poke as he just continues to get Marines out back. And, well, he's trying to target down these Banelings. Grabs 1, 2, 3, gets all of the Banelings of Solar, and he's just going to step away. What an annoying pressure that Polt's brought here. He's been here for like almost 2-3 whole minutes. This command center is still getting poked away at. Polt has a nice amount of barracks, 5 of them set up. Double engineering bays rolling along. We should see the armory start soon. Actually, there it is in the natural. As the 4th base is about halfway done for Solar, and Polt finally cleans up the Zerglings that were harassing his base. These Marines and Marauder get a little bit of poking done, but Solar's not able to kill anything. I really like the amount of pressure Polt was able to put on in the early game. It hasn't been game winning for him, but it's one of those things that just keeps the Zerg off of your back, and Solar now is getting the Banelings, a few more of them. He has Baneling speed complete. The one thing that Solar will enjoy for the most of this game is a small upgrade advantage. He has the plus 2-2 coming in. Polt's 1-1 is about 20 seconds away from completing, so I think about halfway through Polt's 2-2, 2-2 should be done for Solar. So Solar have a very small time where he has a pretty substantial, I'd say, upgrade lead. As Polt runs some Marines out, trying to check the bases, making sure there's no Overlords parking any expansions. And he's getting ready to move out. He has a lot of Widow Mines, about 4 here. Continuing to produce 2 at a time, trying to get a little bit closer to this creep. The mine's now beginning to burrow, and Polt's going to take an engagement. The Banelings trying to get on top of this force. Not able to get anything crazy, though, but most of the Banelings taken out before the bio, and there's only That's just about 6 or so Banelings. It's all going to come down to the split as to whether or not Polt can take care of this. He's trying to get on top of him. The tumors are gone, but the creep is still there, and the Banelings take out about half of these Marines, no problem. The Mutalisks, though, being target fired by Polt will allow this bio to just get picked up again and again. Most of the bio is gone, but cleaning up the Mutalisks is so nice. Once they start to snowball, if a Zerg player can get up 20-some-odd mutas and really start to heavily harass the bases, it becomes a really big problem for the Terran, but Solar, he's reset now just to 4 Mutalisks, a 5th one in production. And Polt, despite having a slight upgrade disadvantage, as the 2-2 has now completed for Solar. This is that scary part, because Polt's not even, he's about a third of the way through with his +2 upgrades. Solar already having them done means that if Polt does get into another fight, those Zerglings are going to do a pretty nice amount of damage versus the Marines. This Viking is still being a champ. He's trying to get more than 1 kill. Don't understand. I guess I kind of like this. Once he gets Overlord speed, he cleans up the Viking with the Mutalisks, and then the Overlords can go block the bases again, which is really, really nice to see, because he can still cover the drop paths. Polt cleaning up some creep. Zerglings and Banelings are going to give chase, though. Does he have anything to deal with this? I don't know. There's no Widow Mines with this force, so the Marines will spread as best as they can. Polt trying to get some favorable trades. And he will lose pretty much everything. 1 medevac of units is saved. The Widow Mines get a couple of detonations on the south end of that fight. Now actually doing a nice bit of damage to the chasing units. But the Infestation Pit is on the way. It's now done, so we could see a Hive come up. And then, of course, the Ultralisk Cavern and the +3 upgrades. But Polt still just sitting pretty. He has not been harassed virtually. He hasn't been harassed at all this entire game. He doesn't really have a missile turret covering his mineral line. Just one on the edge of the base of the natural. So he's just been bringing the pressure to Solar, and the Mutalisks get caught, clips one of them down. Looking for another point to maybe press onto the creep. There are a lot of Banelings here, though. Would love to engage against this Bioforce. As Solar, I mean, to be fair, he's taken a lot of pressure at the front, but he himself hasn't been harassed that much. Polt hasn't really done any drop play. As we can see, there's barely any static defense on the map for Solar. Now that Hive is coming in, though, almost halfway done. As Polt moves out to take the 4th base, pressing from 2 fronts. He wants to clean up the creep as well as stave off these queens. Will be forced to lift up again, though. And Solar's doing a great job of defending and holding Polt at bay. Polt's done a good job of holding the creep back, but Solar's still managing to get to that Hive tech. He hasn't taken enough damage that he's worried about actually being shut down. Banelings do take a couple hits off these Widow Mines. The Mutalisks are just going to give chase. Polt does have a lot of bio behind this. Will it be enough to hold the attack off, though? It seems so. Command Center has landed. And Solar's going to retreat. He needs to get some Overseers with this army. There's a lot of Widow Mines just kind of littered around the map. It's like someone just kind of threw them out of the window as they were driving by, and they're stuck in here. Now Polt continuing to clean up the creep. It's so important to keep the creep back from the Zerg. Once that gets onto your front door, it's almost impossible to remove. The Zerg reinforcements just come so quickly that staving them off is almost impossible. But Polt trying to spread out some Widow Mines. And he's sending a contingent of units to the left side of the map, getting some missile turrets to cover this 4th base. He's actually gone for an orbital instead of a planetary fortress for his 4th, so it's a little bit ballsy, not worried about Zergling run-bys, it seems. But Solar, he's starting those +3 upgrades, and Polt starts the +3 upgrades at the same time. So we do have even upgrades, but is he going to be able to just run this over? There's no creep here. Polt is retreating, trying to get farther away from these Banelings, and it looks like he's actually baited him pretty nicely into the Widow Mines. There's still a lot of the bio left. He's actually pressing that natural area of creep. At the same time, we'll be forced to lift everything up, and he's just retreating. But with the Widow Mines to cover the retreat path, it's so nice. Continuing to just get hits off on these Zerglings with the Widow Mines, and Polt is just not letting him take another one of those big fights. I think very important for Polt, just trying to avoid those big confrontations. And now he has a planetary fortress at the front. So nice. The area of effect damage that the planetary fortress can deal is incredible versus Zerglings and Banelings alike. And it just acts as a great tanking mechanism if Ultralisks do become a problem. Now, with that Hive being done, do we see an Ultralisk Cavern yet? No. So it's just pure Zergling Baneling Mutalisks as another Mutalisk gets picked off by the Widow Mine. And Polt's going to try to press in here. There are about 10 Banelings. Can Polt do this? He's bringing the bio, stepping back, trying to get a good spread. And the bio's actually spread incredibly well. Those splits from Polt actually looking magnificent. But is it going to be enough to break this position? I don't think so. More Widow Mines continue to detonate, but with the Overseries finally cleaning these up, Polt trying to press the center position once again, forced to lift everything up and move back. Solar maxed out quite nicely on 62 Zerglings is the remax. And Solar trying to get us around on the forces, not going to be able to pick Polt off just yet. stepping back just a little bit more. The Marines firing down at Solar's Queen, doing what he can, and forced to lift off once again. And Polt's just trying to get in a position to shut down these bases, but Solar has not lost any expansions. In fact, have either of these players killed a worker? No, not since the very beginning of this game, basically. Polt finally getting into that that fourth base area, trying to pick off a few drones. Maybe get this spine crawler. Does get that. We'll save a medevac, but losing all of those Marines in the meantime. And Polt's just trying to press into this, but Solar has such an ungodly amount of banelings. This is actually disgusting. He's just going to press in now. The Widow Mines, there's not that many of them to deal with this, and they're going to detonate on the Marines. Polt losing a lot to his own units as Solar presses down the ramp, getting us around on the Terran army. The Mutalisks trying to give chase. These medevacs, he does not want him to get away this time. Polt, however, the next wave of reinforcements here, this guy just never stops. This guy never runs out of Marines. Polt just got an endless torrent spilling out onto the field. I don't know, man. It's like paratroopers from hell, just unending Marines just everywhere at every point in time. Drop heading towards the south side of the map. Since there's only one spine crawler, it should be easier to deal with, but I'm kind of wondering if maybe he's looking at trying to go into the main base. The Mutas are going to find it, though, thanks to that Overlord spread. And look at the stream of blue on the mini-map. Solar's going in to try to shut down this 5th base from Polt. Planetary Fortress is going to be canceled. Not lifted off just yet. Okay, they're restarting it once again. He needs to hold this position. Without the creep spread, it's going to be a lot easier for Polt to spread his Marines. Of course, guys, in case you didn't know, Banelings only move faster than stimmed Marines whilst on creep. So if Polt just stays off the creep, he can probably hold on here quite nicely. And this Widow Mine, that didn't detonate at all for some reason. Polt might have been trying to micro that one specifically, which can be the negative side effect of that, as this creep is continuing to push out. And Solar, he's looking for ways to harass every base. So many Mutalisks pressing towards that left side. There are 5 missile turrets and a few Widow Mines actually here for Polt, trying to take this down. At the same time, the Marines are going to engage in the center of the field. There's creep here. Here come the Banelings. The Widow Mines not getting those magic connections, and Polt will lose his army in the south position, and at the same time, lose this planetary fortress. There's nothing here to defend this. Running some Marines up here. There's 2 spine crawlers, a handful of Zerglings, but there could be enough. With the Banelings running in, Polt's forced to retreat once again, and the 5th base being denied is so crucial, as Polt is just muling this 4th base to hell. There's still some resources left, but the 3rd base is running dry. The natural is basically spent, as well as the main base. So we're seeing Polt have a lot of excuse me, difficulty keeping up the production. He's still putting out a lot of units, though, getting the rest of his upgrades, even building armor and vehicle plating level 3, but the Widow Mines are just not getting the connections, and they're actually grabbing a decent chunk of the Zergling forces. I'm really surprised that we haven't seen any transition into Ultralisks from Solar. He's sitting purely on Lingbane Muta. He's getting the +3 flyer attacks, and Polt, he's actually taking the base in the top right position, but Solar's going to be all over it immediately, sprinting up with all of these forces, and the Mutas should be able to kill this command center with no difficulty. The Banelings chewing at the Marines and SCVs. Polt blasting towards the south side of the map, but he's not killing anything of consequence to Solar. Solar's still managing to keep everything that he wants in the field. There's no Widow Mines to cover this bio army, and so many Banelings just running in, 30 plus, destroying the entire Terran army from Polt. Nothing left, as he does have another wave of reinforcements, but they're not out here just yet. These medevacs taking a lot of damage, picking off almost another one, and Polt will try to once again land a 5th base. This has been so back and forth. Solar's like, nice command center. I'll take this one, though, for myself. Polt steps up a little bit closer. Here are the Banelings. There's no Widow Mines, as I said. He's bringing in the rest of the reinforcements. Is it going to be enough with the Mutalisks coming in? Doesn't seem so. Polt's lost all but a handful of Marines. With the medevacs, will this be enough? Zerglings continuing to stream through, and Polt is on the back foot once again. This planetary fortress trying to set up a 5th base. It just doesn't look like it's going to happen. He's all over it. Polt's bringing everything else up here, but he's yet to get to the Zerglings before he can reach the command center, and that's just not going to be in time. Polt's 5th denied once again. Solar is all over him. A few SCVs trying to get some, I don't know, back alley mining, whatever you call this, in the north position, but Solar has just been so dominant. I can't believe it. He doesn't even need Hive Tech. He's like, it's actually kind of crazy the way he's just been on top of absolutely everything throughout this entire map so far. And he's really giving Polt a run for his money. The Mutas are headed towards the top right again. He's going to be able to secure this 6th base without too much trouble. And Polt, he's just having a difficult time, more and more remaxing every fight. It just gets harder and harder. And Solar, slowly but surely has pressed this creep up. Polt moving another contingent of Marines and Marauders down to this south position, trying to shove these Mutalisks back and pick off the creep, but that's not going to be possible. There's just too much Zerg here. He's pressed up against his own planetary fortress once again. This command center is going to move out, but that command center won't do too much when there's 28 drones mining on this hatchery. And immediately the Mutalisks descend upon the command center. Polt using this maybe as a distraction to secure this left base as the Banelings and Zerglings trying to deal with this drop that's moving around by the fourth base of Solar. He's continuing to move around here, picking off this spine crawler and just lifting up more and more. Polt's actually stretching Solar out quite well. This is exactly what he needs to do. Some of these Banelings, though. Ooh, Polt, a Marauder, actually. He's a Marauder was an hero for this, taking all of those Banelings. And the Zerglings in the main base are not going to be enough just yet. Polt has secured the left side base, trying to get the planetary fortress set up at the same time as, well, he's continuing to press the top right side. And Solar forced to bring the Mutalisks back into the main base. The Baneling nest getting sniped off means no more Banelings for Solar. It's the event, which, I mean, honestly, the Banelings have been the MVPs of this game with the detonations. Great Widowmine connections for Polt. 10-5. Doing just absolutely fantastic. Polt is trying to claw his way back in. He was kicked onto the edge of the cliff, but man, these Widowmines are even just grabbing random mutas left and right. This is so nice for Polt. Is he going to be able to pull this back? I don't know quite yet. He's still trying to press this top side sixth base. I feel like he's got to kill that sixth, but oh, Solar's moving in, lifts everything up. The Widowmines detonate and get pretty decent hits. Polt with this planetary fortress to fall back on has just been so comfortable. The Zerglings are going to try to engage here, but he can't fight into this PF. Already 14 kills, and the building armor makes this thing almost unkillable. Polt is showing he's, you know, being down 50 supply doesn't mean anything to Polt. He's back in it, and this game has just been absolutely crazy. Polt pressing now towards that top base. Once again, the Banelings are moving in with the Mutalisks. Not that many Widowmines. Here's the spread from the Terran player, moving back as much as he can. Most of the Banelings not able to get those big hits, and Polt with another medevac sneaking into the main base. Where is the other Baneling nest? I don't even know. Okay, it's at the fifth base. Polt still pressing forward with everything that he's got. The Banelings are moving in, blowing up on actually not really the most clumped Marines. Polt still has some Marines left over after the Banelings are gone. A few more finish up. The Mutas are brought back into the main base, and the Muta count's really been thinned down quite a bit. It used to be like one of those fat kids. Now it's very, very lean. With all the Widowmine shots, just picking that off, kind of shaving away at the Mutalisk count, which makes killing this base almost impossible with the +2 armor on those missile turrets. And look, the Field of Dreams. Widowmines are just going to be detonating left and right on these Mutalisks. Yeah, this is exactly what's been working so well for Polt, is just picking these off. Trying to use the Zerglings to bait out the attacks. Another engagement, though, lifting up pretty much everything, letting the Widowmines do the work. As Polt redrops everything, all of the Banelings are gone. But are there enough Marines to power through this? Survey says no, but the reinforcements have something to say about that. Moving towards the top right side, 44 Zerglings are on the production tab. Polt's pressing in towards that top right base. Banelings being morphed in. Will they be in time? The drones are now under fire. Solar's forced to use the Mutalisks to fight these Marines. The last thing you want to do, even with those +3 upgrades, it's so difficult to take out this bio with just the Mutas. And almost all of the Air Force has been removed for Solar. Polt bringing these Marines back is just going to lift up and boost away once again. Like, geez Louise. Polt dies hard, man. Even more than John guy, whatever his name is. And he's coming in. 12 Banelings are on the way. Solar has 6 with his army at the moment. The Widowmines have been spread out, looking for some good detonations. Polt not able to grab too much just yet, but there's barely anything here for Solar. Polt's maintained the supply lead, now almost shoving Solar down below 100. More Mutalisks coming in. The bio spread too much. The drones actually eating these Widowmine shots, and the SCVs are sharing the mineral plots. GG, Polt takes game number 1 in this best of 3 here at the Dailymotion Cup Group C, and Jesus Christ, what a way to start this series off.